feedbacks are imperative. You've literally touched on a beautiful topic, feedbacks. Now, feedbacks are always like, I think we really don't understand, especially in our present day culture, we really don't understand the power, the effect of what feedback actually does for an enterprise. Because most people feel like feedback is all about query. Do you get what I'm trying to say? Like, you want to query somebody or you want to query staff to say, okay, this staff is not doing this thing right. That is not all of the feedback. We have positive feedback. We have negative feedback. We have feedbacks that I can build on. We have feedbacks that I can see and I can say, okay, this is what I'm doing wrong. How do I improve on this aspect of my business?
What up, guys?
We're back.
Yeah, we are back.
We are back.
Yeah,
we are going to be doing this. We say we're going to be doing this. We're going to have a podcast. And yeah, we started our podcast. We're doing it.
Yeah, we are doing it, brother. We are doing it and we are killing it. Finance, media, and lifestyle. That is wonderful.
That's the way. And we're doing it. We're doing it the way it should be done. We're doing it in the big boys moves way. We're doing it in the lifestyle way. We're doing it in the media way. And we're doing it in the finance way. Yeah, we're doing it in the financial way.
All of these, you need money to express yourself. You need money to enjoy what you want to enjoy.
Exactly.
You need money in every day.
Exactly. You need
spend every day.
You need to take your business serious.
Exactly. You have to. It's important.
And that's the problem. We're not doing that. We're not doing that enough. And that's what this podcast is all about. We're talking about reinventing yourself. We're talking about knowing your business. We're talking about taking your business seriously. We're talking about being helpful to yourself.
Exactly. We're talking about how you regulate your finance.
Exactly.
In association with media, because of the media scale in this our country and what the lifestyle you want to live in.
Exactly.
How you want to enjoy the way you want to live your life. You feel me now?
Exactly. The best way to live your life, financial, how to put your finance in order, basically. We're going to be talking about everything. You know, the last time we talked about the introduction of how finance, what makes you think you need money? What makes you think like what is hindering you from having the lifestyle you want? Exactly. And we talk about accountability. We talked about how important accountability is as a human and how accountability basically control our life and how it has really affected us. We looked at the advantages, we looked at the disadvantages.
And not to forget, it's very imperative to every citizen to hold whoever they feel is accountable, because you don't just sit down there and sit back and just feel like things will get itself done. No, you have to hold responsibility.
Everybody has to play their part.
People, whoever is accountable, you know that you owe them accountable for it.
Exactly. Because everybody has to play their part. In case you miss that show, you can watch that. And in case you're just joining us, of course, definitely you can follow, you can like, and you can share. But today,
don't forget to subscribe.
Exactly.
Don't forget to subscribe. Hit the like button and don't forget to subscribe.
Click that like button now. But now let us continue from where we stopped on our last episode. In case you didn't catch that, we talked about accountability, but our main focus was on how can SME businesses strive in our present day system, in our present day economy.
That is something that I really want to talk about in a very long time, because most SME business find it difficult to regulate their finances and to grow their business.
Okay.
And most of them don't know that these things are based on accountability and how integrity they are in their process business.
Exactly.
For example, now you want to grow your business and you don't know how to boost your market visibility.
Exactly.
That's wrong. So going into your business and boosting it, you need to understand that, okay, what is my product? You need to understand the use of your product to your customers, and you need to understand that, okay, this is my product, it's giving value to the people.
Exactly.
Let me invest in the visibility of this product.
Exactly. That is so correct. I think one problem that SME brands have is visibility, like rightly said. But at the same time, we need to also understand that you have to be intentional in whatever thing you're doing. And I think as an SME brand or as SME company, you need to be extremely intentional, because you need to understand that you yourself first, You are the ambassador of your brand.
Of course,
You are the
because
carrier
it
of your
comes in with
brand.
your idea.
Exactly.
Because you are ready to put out your idea there for the people.
Exactly.
How do your idea now? How do you want to boost your idea?
Exactly.
You can't expect, I have an idea on my business now.
Exactly.
How am I doing it?
Exactly.
Matters to me.
Exactly.
What's the feedback I'm getting from my customer?
Exactly.
It matters to me.
Exactly. So feedbacks are imperative. You've literally touched on a beautiful topic, feedbacks. Now, feedbacks are always like, I think we really don't understand, especially in our present day culture, we really don't understand the power, the effect of what feedback actually does for an enterprise. Because most people feel like feedback is all about query. Do you get what I'm trying to say? Like, you want to query somebody or you want to query staff to say, okay, this staff is not doing this thing right. That is not all of the feedback. We have positive feedback. We have negative feedback. We have feedbacks that I can build on. We have feedbacks that I can see and I can say, okay, this is what I'm doing wrong. How do I improve on this aspect of my business?
Of course, feedback is very, very imperative in business.
Exactly.
It's very crucial. And
Exactly.
SME owners, entrepreneurs need to understand that your customers' needs is what brings you satisfaction in your sales.
Exactly.
When your customer is good, you can't expect a product that is not good to sell and the people are going to want it. You know, most people forget that the greatest asset you have in this world is the people. The people is the greatest asset. So now how I treat you matters. So if my product to you and my product to you now treats you good. So I need to get a feedback to know where I'm going to improve in my own aspect. Because it's not a matter of just treating you good and making you feel okay. I need feedback from you. Because that feedback now gives me the right to develop myself.
Exactly.
And most SMEs miss this part because they don't really put their whole all in it.
All right. Now you rightly made mention of something that is extremely very, very important, feedbacks, which we just addressed right now. And another thing I want us to really address, due to the fact that many people might be saying, okay, these guys are mentioning SME. Who is an SME? How do I become an SME?
You know, SME, when they say SME,
yeah,
we have micro,
yeah,
small and medium enterprises.
Exactly.
We have for small and medium enterprises. So you're an SME, you fall into a category where you have an employees that are between like 10 to 99.
Exactly.
If you're in micro, probably your employees are between just 1 to 5.
But
so now you're an entrepreneur, you have you're the owner of your business, and then you have about 5, 6, 7 workers. Yeah, you qualify to meet what the definition of an SME.
Okay.
You accept you have employees that are up to hundreds or 300. That's when you can say, okay, fine, okay, yeah, you're over that qualification. You now surpass the threshold of what employee of SME.
Yeah, you've literally talked about people that can be classified like basically as SME, but at the same time, you still need to understand that the very first day you take it upon yourself to do something for yourself, you want to grow your brand, you singly, you want to make something out for yourself. That very day, you've become an SME. It doesn't matter whether it's just one person that have kickstarted it, right? But that very day that you said, okay, this business, I want to take it as mine. I want to hold it as mine. I want to build on this business. I want to be accountable on this business. Remember, we've talked about accountability. I want to attach integrity to this business. So I want to take it like my personal life. That's one thing you need to understand. That's one thing I feel like we also need to understand, that whatever passion that we feel like we want to pursue, whatever thing that we feel like we want to engage ourselves with, we need to take it as something extremely personal. Like as I am right now, I can't differentiate, how do I put it? Should I say my business from my life?
Okay,
because
wait. I want to put it to you now. I want to ask you. You've used some number of years. You have experience in the media life.
Okay,
do you feel me?
Yeah.
So now, if you're gonna say what would be like your advice to someone that has a vision to grow, to own a media firm? Don't let me use the word media firm. Let me say a media firm. Okay. Yeah, he wants to be a filmmaker, probably a musician, produces songs, wants to be someone like Don Jazzy. What do you think would be your advice around them?
Okay, so the thing here is, first of all, it takes a lot of, I want to use the same word, we've talked about it before, accountability. It takes a lot of accountability for yourself. And when I say accountability, I'm trying to say it takes a lot of intentionality. So a Don Jazzy, a media mogul that just that have created this big fame you see out there, or they have created a big brand for themselves, takes a lot of hard work. It takes a lot of hard work. And when I say it takes a lot of hard work, it takes a lot of intentionality and a lot of accountability. And I always keep on measuring accountability, because it's a big problem in our culture. And if you can be accountable, if you can be intentional, do you understand what I'm trying to say? Of course, definitely you're going to make it. But if I want to say, okay, what are the baby steps that you can start taking? Do you understand? You can start by trying to get aware about the field you want to develop into. You say, okay, I have a passion for filmmaking. What do I want to do? How do I want to develop myself as a filmmaker? First of all, of course, the first thing you need to do as a person is to learn. You need to learn. You need to learn and you need to learn. And aside from learning, you need to learn. It's learning. You need to learn how to take risks. There's another thing I think.
Yeah, that's another thing. That's a very important part.
A very big thing you need to understand. You need to understand that as an SME person, let me use the word, or as an SME business, or if you feel like today I want to become a creator. Do you understand? Because this word creator, I told you, I said, everybody's a creator. Do you understand? If you're a businessman and you feel like, okay, I want to solve people problem, I want to be able to reach out to the final consumer and solve their reach at that minimal level, you are a creator. Because it has to take you to be able to create something, whether it's an idea, I don't know what it is, but you must think, you must be able to say, okay, I want to create something. Exactly. You must be able to give out something. And once you can stretch that mental brain of yours, you are a creator. So back to what we were saying, talking about media. So first of all, you need to know that okay, I want to create this. You must be able to, I must be ready to take risk and invest in your future. Nobody's going to invest in your future for you.
No one will do that.
Nobody. So that's another thing. You see many people say, oh, I want to do this, I want to do this, I want to do this, I want to be this, I want to be that, but they're not ready to take the risk.
Don't forget
they're not ready to invest in their own future.
Some people are risk aversionists. Some people, when anything that comes with risk, to do with risk, they don't want to do it. They are not ready to take that risk. And it's not as if like they feel like, most people feel, I'm not ready.
That's why everybody cannot be a businessman. Sorry to say. That's why everybody cannot be a businessman. Everybody cannot own a business. So you need to be able to know what is cut out for you. In this Nigeria space, like I want to talk from the media sector. You asked me if you want to be a filmmaker. It all depends on you, what you want. If you feel like, oh, today I want to become a top film producer, I want to have one of the biggest media fame, I want to do this, I want to do that, I want to be that best actor there on the screen, I want to be the best actress on the screen. If you want to do that, you need to understand that it takes a lot of work and it takes a lot of sacrifice. Those things don't come overnight. And that's another thing I think we need to understand. You need to put in the work. That is you being accountable. You don't want to put in the work, you want to get the result. It doesn't work like that. And when I mean putting the work, I mean you being intentional over those goals. You know those goals, write them out. What do you want to do? What do you want to achieve? Like I remember when I shot my first, when I wanted to do my first film, I was like, okay, this short film, I want to get this film to this particular festival. It has to go to this particular festival, and that was what I shot the movie for. I wasn't bothered about, okay, trying to get this movie into this other festival, or this other festival. But I just had a target festival.
Just intentional that I want to give to
this particular festival. This is the festival I'm shooting this film for. And I shot that film for that particular festival, and it came out from the particular festival. It doesn't matter to me if it came out from, maybe it came out on another 5 festivals. It doesn't matter to me. My most important thing is that this was my goal and this is what I got.
Well, it's very true and it's very correct, because I could remember a client that I worked for some years back. And he reached out to me telling me that he's having issues with his sales. And I had to tell him that, oh man, you want to grow your business.
Yeah.
You are having issues with your sales, with your management of cash flows. Your KPIs are not performing any longer. Okay, what do you think we can do? Then he reached out to me and I'm like, you know what, man? These are after doing my necessary analysis, I discovered that, okay, you are taking some unnecessary costs. You know, sometimes these SMEs don't want to outsource jobs to people who knows about it. And that's why most of them would think, oh, I can do all this. Yes, you can, but in the essence of you owning a business, you can't be in every department at the same time. It's not done. So you have to cater for your department and probably outsource some. So when he reached out to me, I had to tell him that, okay, this is it. You're making sales in the previous years. Now your sales were deteriorated a year following. What made you think? I told him about the cost that made him that made his sales towards his income to reduce.
Okay.
And after a while, I told him that, okay, for you to have more, because every businessman is an investor.
Exactly.
Don't forget that. And that's why in finance, you need to prepare your financial reports so that investors can see how you're performing, how the liquidity of your cash flows, and how you're performing, so that they can invest in it.
All right. Sorry, I just want to jump on this. Sorry. Now, if you can see, everything we're talking about here is still screaming accountability. So that's why we can't really take away the fact. So I need you to understand that the first thing you need to understand is you need to be accountable. So you, as a business person, you need to ask yourself that honest question. First, am I accountable?
Of course.
And if you sit down with yourself and you ask yourself genuinely that honest question, am I accountable? You find that if you find out that you feel you are not accountable enough, but you really want to go into this, who do you think can keep me accountable?
Of course, you need to
because
put it.
From everything you've just said, checking your business.
Exactly.
You want an investor to come to your business.
You want to grow your business.
You have to have that papers. And then you're saying, I don't have investors. I don't have anybody that is coming in to invest into money. Have you gotten your shit together?
Some of these SMEs, they want to grow their businesses, but they don't have their records in order. Now, you want to grow your business. It's not a matter of just increasing its cash liquidity or increasing it by assets. No, you want to grow your business. You want to grow the investors. You want to grow in the sales. You want to let your business to go global. Because one of the key things of a businessman is that, this is my business, this is my idea I've put out to sell to the people. It matters. Exactly. And I'm ready to invest in it. I'm ready to take it to the highest level. Oh, this idea I'm borrowing, it matters. In growing these ideas, you won't just sit still and expect the idea to grow itself. No. You've invested money in that idea. So after investing money in that idea, you dare not just sit back without looking for what to develop it.
Okay, so that's what we're talking about. That's why we talk about risk.
Yeah, risk. and that's where risk comes in. You see, when we say MSME and SME, most people tend to mix it. They don't know what they can't really differentiate what it really means. You see, when you're an MSME, that means you're a micro, small, medium enterprise. So which means, why they classified you as a micro, small, medium enterprise? Number of your workers you're having. So you have a worker from number 1, like your workers range are 1 to 10 as an MSME. Yeah. And as a medium scale enterprise, it's from, let's say, 11 to about 50, 60. Then
let's stick with the small numbers.
You say?
I know. Like I said, let's stick with the small numbers so that you guys will not get. Like, that is it. Like, the idea is to let you know that you can actually do this. Please.
That's the idea. To let you understand that you can do whatever you want to do and still live your lifestyle and still have fun.
Exactly.
With your lifestyle and your day-to-day activities.
Exactly.
As an SME, for example, now, you need to understand that when taking decisions, you have to be quick. It has to be swift. Yeah. Though they have to be accurate decisions.
Exactly.
You need to think it through. Not just take decisions that just feel, oh, this is it. No. You have to think it through, balance the equations from every angle. And you have to be precise that this is what I am doing. Yeah. And this is what I am going to do. And as an SME, you need to understand that getting a feedback from your customer is really important to your product. Because that product you're selling, most people miss it, that the greatest assets you can ever have is human. Exactly. Because you can't sell your product to animals. It's not done. Not clear. So your product is to humans. Whatever you have as a content, your idea is for human beings. You want them to understand that, okay, this my idea that I have is good. It can actually change things in the society. That's how America called themselves for the land of opportunities,
And
because
that's why
America
your
believes
creator.
in idea.
Exactly.
America never forgoes an idea. They want to buy in. Someone thought of it. Oh, I want to build an aeroplane. And America just said, oh, you want to build an aeroplane? No problem. Let's go into that.
All right, cool. So I'm going to pick it up from, like where you explained earlier, the difference between an MSME and then an SME, because this is one thing that people use interchangeably a lot, or people really don't tend to get to know the difference. But the idea is to let you know that when you are kicking off as a self-entrepreneur, like you're kicking off and you're starting up your own business, you need to understand that you need to be swift, just like what you rightly said. You need to be very, very swift. You need to be quick in making decisions. Feedbacks are extremely important. Feedbacks so important, and that's one thing that I feel like we need to do better on our culture. Feedback. If you can remember, if you remember very well, you remember there was a time when this feedback had a very, very big issue. I don't want to go into the brand. I don't want to call brands. But we know the way the system is, and I think that's another thing. I think that's another thing. Hold on, sorry. I want to say this. I think there's another thing we need to do better from the government angle. The government need to understand that SME brands, SME MSME brands are pilots that pushes the national economy. And because of that, they need to know that they should create enabling environment for them. And there need to be rule of law. And if you want your country, first of all, to thrive, you must be able to prove that there's a rule of law in your country.
Yes.
And if you understand, that is one intangible asset.
But this country don't have
US.
That. You and I know that this country.
Well, I don't want to lose hope on this country. Do you get? I don't want to lose hope on this country. I believe so much in the potential of Nigerians. And I believe so much in the potential of us, the youths of this country. I believe so much that we have so much ideas, so much potential.
That's true.
I don't want to stop believing that there shouldn't be rule of law. But you need to understand why I'm saying this is because of the feedback issue we talked about. We know the controversies feedback has caused in this country. I don't want to talk about the Erico drama and everything, but you need to understand. We also need to, I know we still need to cut a thin line between getting feedbacks for brands. So we need to understand the importance of feedback. Do you understand? Because we talked about the rule of law not quite long. It is imperative. Like I can't even begin to imagine.
And let me just cut you in when it comes to feedback. You need to understand as an SME or MSME that feedbacks helps you to develop your product, your productivity. It helps you gives more value because you know that, okay, this product I've created, oh, where is it lacking? Look at Rolex, for example. Rolex wristwatch. Yes. The watch Rolex wristwatch wasn't what it was. You can't compare 2025 Rolex wristwatch to 1990 Rolex
Exactly,
wristwatch. Because
the feedback
Rolex ensures that they get feedback from their customers. Yeah. Okay, where is my wristwatch lagging? Where is it? Where is it falling aside?
How can we do better?
Exactly. So any of these companies you see that are thriving out today, it is what they imputed. It is their punity to what they are going to do from the scratch of the company.
Exactly.
So you need to understand as an MSME and also as an SME that building your brand and building your company
needs to be built around feedback.
Yes. Feedback is highly important. You can't get it all in one day. For crying out loud, Rome was not built in a day.
Exactly.
So you can't get everything in one day.
Exactly.
Talk to your customers. What is your satisfaction with my product? You engage in your employees, ensuring that your employees as well are satisfied. Exactly. You don't just think of the external part or no, you need to think of the internal part as well.
Yeah.
Now that is where as a leader, as a entrepreneur, that is where your responsibility comes in, how you have to be accountable for it.
Okay.
You've started an idea. You have to be accountable for that idea. You need to know that this idea needs to reach out to where it wants to reach. What's the vision and the goal of it? To me, I have 3 ways by which you can boost your MSME business or your SME business. What are you doing to the people? Like, the first one is, what is the use of your product to the people? The second one is, what works in solving out what the problems that the use of your product gives to the people? And the third one is feedback, like you've just mentioned.
Okay.
Work around this day and night in the next 365 days. I bet it with you, your product will be selling out in a big way.
That is a masterclass. You should be jotting that down. I don't know if you did, but if you don't, I don't know. You should do that, or maybe you should be watching this program consistently to grow your brand, to grow your business, to grow yourself. Because lifestyle is like, and another thing is, you can't be selling a brand you cannot, how do I want to put it? You cannot
showcase.
No, not showcase per se. What's this word? Like, you know, if you say brand, you can't be selling that brand and you don't have the aura around that brand.
Of course, you need to have an aura around
exactly.
it.
But
you need to be confident around it. You need
exactly.
to understand that, oh, this is my brand.
Exactly.
The moment you have an idea, it pops into your head. Okay, this is the business I want to do. You want to do a business for yourself to make more money. Regardless that business, you're doing it for people.
Exactly.
You don't want to do business when they do it for your family.
Exactly.
Now for people, you want people to come and buy in because you want to collect the money in their pockets to increase your own more your business. So for doing this, there are ways, like I've said, what is the use of your product to these people? What is working? You can't just say you build business. There are a lot of things you want to put in. This is strategy, that strategy. There are a lot of strategies to build up a company. But which one of these strategies is working? And how would you know it's working? It's by feedback. You try the strategy in sales. You try the strategy in HR. You try the strategy in the finance department. You try the strategies on field or in the operational department. You need to know which of them is working.
And then you implement it.
Exactly. Then you operate on that. For doing this now, it helps your product build with productivity, and it gives your product the effectiveness and efficiency
now
back.
Sorry to interject right there. The thing is this. We'll be talking about product. Now, you need to understand whether you have a product, maybe you're showcasing a product, or you have a service. Whatever thing you have, you need to be able to be consistent with it. You need to be able to consistent with it. So if it's a product or if it's a service, you have to treat them the same. Thank you.
Yeah. You know, this consistency you said is something I also love because being consistent and persistent, you don't start something, if you don't give up.
Exactly.
Look at Thomas Edison, for instance, my brother. Thomas Edison that created the light bulb.
Edison. That they always talk
Thomas
about
Edison tried that 9 bulb.
99. It's a famous
look
quote.
At Steve Jobs.
It's a famous
you know how many people Steve Jobs called?
Exactly.
So you can't just give up.
Exactly.
When this product is going. So in building this, everything doesn't come in boom like a booming flower. There's a process to it. There are times that your product is at introductory, your product is at growth, your product hits the maturity. Now you want your product to stay at maturity forever. Sometimes your product will decline. Now it is left to you to check it out. Okay, what strategy will I use to put my product back at maturity and at its peak? That's your own. So you have to look at the strategy. If you're going to consult people, if you're going to look at what have I been doing? Most people tend to forget what they have been doing, and that is where what works matters.
Exactly.
Now you're doing, what have you been doing? Look at Apple, for example, before they told Steve Jobs, the owner, to get out.
Exactly.
Steve Jobs had a process of what he has been doing. What have you done this week? That works. Exactly. That works. What he does that works. That has taken
the formula.
Exactly. So they have to. So when they took him out,
when you took the creator out of the creation,
and you didn't even get to learn the strategy.
And that's why it's important. Now talking about creator, when you take the creator in every business, you need to understand that you are the creator. Do you understand? Then when we want to go into scripturally or want to go biblically, then God also, you need to put God into your business as well. I need to establish that. Now, like, you need to also put God in your business as well. But you need to understand that thing that works, the originality of that thing that works. You need to be able to put it. Now talking about your style, you need to understand this. Like I said earlier, you can always use this, whether you're offering services, whether you're offering products. You need to be able to cut out your style for yourself.
You see, let me cut you in, Paul. Yeah. Is when you say that style, for example, now an SME doesn't know that you started business 2 years ago and you're still using the same branding for your business that you started 2 years ago. Could it work? No, now you have to change.
That's why follow the terrain.
You see, let me give people, when we are growing up, then there's this advert I watch, Close Up. But there's Close Up, then there's herbal.
Yeah.
Let me use them Dabble. Yeah. Herbal. You know, Dabble is green.
Yeah.
Close Up is red.
Yeah.
So there was a time that I was watching, then all of a sudden I just saw that Close Up now had a green in a herbal. I'm like, what's going on? Yeah. Now Close Up, growing up now is for me to understand that, okay, Close Up changing. They've branded it.
Exactly. You have to stay in the game.
And do you know why they did that?
Yeah.
At that time, it's not as if that the Close Up, the main Close Up
wasn't selling.
It was selling. It was at its peak.
But the competitor is here.
Thank you.
I need to sit up.
And I need to sit up.
Yeah.
In that aspect.
Exactly.
And do you know what? Close Up gains the market to date.
Exactly. And there's something else I want to add, just like what I said. You need to learn how to always be in the game. No matter what, like Muhammad Ali, one of my famous boxer.
I love Muhammad.
The reason why I love Muhammad Ali was when he wanted to fight the famous fight against Fraser. When he wanted to fight Fraser, he knows he was old. He knows Fraser was like way younger than him. And what did you see? What did he do? He told Fraser that I'm gonna be in this game. We're gonna go. If you want to fight 24 rounds, I will be here. I have the experience. I know how to stay. I know how to stay. I know how to hold my ground. I know how to be able to reinvent myself. That famous quote, I'm the greatest. He said, I know how to reinvent myself. Like, I have fought an alligator. I have reinvented myself. I fought a brick. I have reinvented. So you need to learn how to reinvent yourself. Whether you are even a solo, you are a solo entrepreneur out there, you need to be able to know, what do I need to do every single day to be in this game? It doesn't matter whether you're not winning yet, but you need to stay long enough. You need to be persistent. You need to know that you are in this for a long term. Because this is the thing you need to understand. Like, I've always said it, I've not been able to, like, don't get it wrong. When I say your business is your life, I'm not trying to say that you cannot like live your normal everyday life, differentiate it from your family when you're with family and enjoy family time. Do you understand what I'm trying to say? That's not what I'm trying to say. I'm not trying to mix it. Sorry. Let me land. I'm not trying to mix it. But what I'm trying to say is this. I'm trying to say that you need to be able to address your business like your life. How would you take care of your life? How would you take care of your everyday needs?
Exactly.
That's how you should approach your business.
You see,
and you need to be consistent enough. Don't end your life.
The goal of every business is profit maximization.
Exactly.
You want to maximize profit while you are cutting your costs. And in doing all of this, that you have to take your business as your life. You will look at it. Okay, how would you feel if you give birth to a child today, and for the next 4 months, that child still looks like the day you gave birth to that child? You'll be worried. Because you have to develop, you have to grow. So, and sometimes it takes time. Like I said, you need to know what works, the usefulness of your product to your customers, and feedback. That feedback is to help you develop the productivity, enhancement of your goods and services that you give out to the society. Now, I'm doing this my business. How am I showing it off? What am I investing in my business as an SME holder and as an MSME business owner? You need to understand that I have to showcase my business. I have to put it out there to ensure that my business is still stable. Yeah, you've talked about persistency and consistency. For how long are you ready to go in the game?
Because that's a big question you should ask yourself.
For how long are you ready to exactly? How
long am I ready?
Are you sure when you're in the game you won't feel weary? Circumstances will come. Maybe say you go tire you.
You go tire you, bro. Not be say
normally every day like you spend every day, but you don't make money.
Okay, sorry. I want to.
That applies to every business.
Exactly.
You spend every day, you don't make money every day. But then, do you think about making your revenue increase?
Okay, sorry, I want to come in here, right? I'll have to take you back a bit. Like, before you came to this spend every day, you just said something. How long are you willing to stay there? how long are you willing to be in the game? You were saying, are you ready to go into this thing fully? Are you ready to always reinvent yourself? If you look at this set of people that've been in this game, they've always reinvented themselves. Do you understand? They've always been there. They've never ever tarry. You need to be there. You need to be consistent. Like you've always made reference to Bezos. Bezos has always been there right from the beginning when he started Amazon. He has always been on the game. Now, I don't want to even look like we're measuring this set of people. Like, I want to use practical, like young entrepreneurs that have been able to be consistent in their game, and they've been there, and they're making things happen. One person that I want to make sure is Nora. Nora is doing absolutely wonderful. You understand? This is not like our first feature is going to be coming in the cinema very soon. Yeah. Congratulations,
What do you call
Nora.
that?
You have a
December
good
when?
one. Yeah. No.
Did you
It's
say
coming out.
December?
It's coming out on December. Not December. December what? Not December. It's coming out. I think it's coming out this month. It's coming out this month or next month. I don't know, but
Oh
the name
wow,
of
that's huge, man.
the name of the name of the film is Red Cycle. So I want you guys to watch out for it. A young, beautiful cinematographer, and she's doing exceptional everywhere. And why am I bringing her on board is because over time I've been able to see her grow, because I follow. She's a good friend of mine, LinkedIn. That was where we hooked up at first. So I've been able to see her grow, and she has done great. And over time, you can see her growth. You can see what she's doing for herself. Why? Because she has been on the game. She has been consistent. She has always wanted to reinvent herself. So that is an example. So another thing again for you as an entrepreneur or a young entrepreneur out there, you need to ask yourself like, okay, this thing I want to do, right? Am I going to be in this thing for a long term, or am I just doing it
And that
for a
comes
short
with your
term?
passion.
And that comes
with
with
it.
passion.
Because
Exactly.
if you have a passion for something,
Yeah.
I feel that you shouldn't stop. So I want to put it out to every MSME owners and SME owners out there that whatsoever you do, don't stop giving it your all.
Exactly.
Ensure you observe it very well. What works really matters, and the feedback you get from your customer also does matters.
Build on it. And I think another thing I want to highlight also here is that you need to understand that feedback does not necessarily need to be for you alone. You look at the environment of where you're working. You can also get feedback from somebody else.
Yeah.
Okay. So this is the feedback they are telling John. And I think me and John, we are aligned in the kind of business we do. So how can I improve? Okay, this is what they're telling you. How can I improve on that from my own?
Of course. You try to look into your competitors.
Into your market, exactly.
Into your market.
Exactly.
You probably sometimes look at your competitors' feedbacks they get.
Yes.
What can you improve on it? In case that feedback also
aligns with yours.
To your own business.
Aligns with yours.
Of course, it's necessary for you to look into it.
And you need to understand also, as a single entrepreneur out there doing your own thing, you need to understand, you need to know that, like, you look at other people, you look at their shortcomings, you look at the mistakes that they've made, and then you try to jump on those mistakes, and then you try to rectify. You understand? You try to build on them and say, okay, all right, so this guy said this is the mistake. This guy said this is what he did right. This guy said this, or this person says this. So how do I try to learn from this and not make the same mistake? How do I try to be better? How do I not fall?
Yeah, how do you try to be better? And as a business owner, know one thing: risk is important. You need to know how to take risk, and you have to understand how to manage this risk you take.
I think risk is going to be our next conversation we're going to be having on this talk show. So if you're not following us, you should be following us right now. You should be following us. You should be liking.
You should like our page. You should subscribe and view more for viewers to look
exactly.
Into.
You should view. You should subscribe. If you like what you're seeing, you should subscribe. You should like, and you should share. And
don't forget also, drop a comment under this page.
Exactly.
We would like to know your thoughts on what you share.
Exactly.
MSME, your business, how you want to grow it.
And we can see what we can come in and give 1 or 2 advice on that angle. We can see how we can come in and look into your comments and also reply, because we do look at comments, and we do try to also reply. But another angle I want to say is we're talking about risk. That is going to be another thing we're going to be discussing when we come back again in our next podcast. Risk. as an entrepreneur? But we don't mind giving you guys a preamble, right? We don't mind giving
risk
you a
as an
preamble,
entrepreneur and how to manage these risks
Yes,
that what
exactly.
you face, you encompass in your daily business
You
life.
need to take it.
You need
Like
to take it. It's
there's no.
necessary for your business to grow. You need to understand that there are risks to attain to. There
And
are risks you need to
the
take.
funny thing is this thing we call risk. Okay, let's not really go there, because if we go into risk, that's a whole lot of topic
It's
on
a
its own.
whole lot. It's a
It's a
whole
whole
lot.
lot of
So,
topic.
ladies and gentlemen, don't stop liking our page and don't stop subscribing to it. It's
Exactly.
really important that you give us a feedback and you write a comment underneath our page.
We just
We
talked
love
about
you
comments.
and stick to finance, media, and lifestyle.
We just talked about feedback right now. We love to hear your feedback. We told you how, as an entrepreneur, you can actually manage feedbacks. You can actually grow from feedbacks. So that shows you how important your feedback is important to us. Very, 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 very extremely important. So we want to see your feedback. We want to see your comments. We want to be able to interact with you via the comment section. And also, you need to understand, you need to take your feedbacks extremely seriously. And we want to be able to do this. We want to continue doing this. We want to continue this. So for us to continue doing this, like, share, and follow. You know how this thing
So
goes.
thank you very much and see you next week.